I could be in the sea, in the middle of a freaking lake in Canada. My Uber will find me here. Good luck. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where we're all about leveling up, elevating, and living our absolute best lives. So today we're back on the original Moving to Africa series setup, which was just me sitting down here before I went all out and about. But I wanted to bring back the Sunday videos and just being really consistent with bringing you guys very informative information. You guys have been asking questions. They haven't gone unheard. So the next few videos and the next few Sundays will definitely be extremely informative and helpful for your journey of moving back to Africa, but specifically Uganda in these next few months. So today's video is all about transportation. I did do a car video a while back about purchasing cars, but I really felt like if you're not there yet like me and you're really picky and you want a particular car, you definitely want information about modes of transportation, how much they cost and whatnot. So today's video will be touching on all of the different modes of transportation, from matatus, which are taxis, to bodas, to Uber, Bolt, special hires, and driving yourself, and also we'll go into detail about the price and whatnot. However, this video, because I'm so used to being in town and moving around in town in the proximity of Kampala, it's going to be detailed to that. So if you live further out, you just add to the figures that I tell you today. So let's get into this video. The first mode of transportation we're going to talk about are matatus, which are taxis. They're the white and bluish ones that fit 14 people, that actually put more and just drive like maniacs on the road. Those ones generally around town, it depends on where you're going. Like the one or two times I've been in one, once my judge was like, don't worry, I'll take you home, and sent the driver home, and literally, I think it was like 1,500 to go into town from like the Tombs area to Acacia side. So there's that, but generally speaking, they're around 2,000 shillings to 3,000 shillings to get around in like the Kampala core area. And also depends on your distance, because some people, I've seen people hop on one and then hop off it, like maybe like a few meters out of the road. Like, people are just too funny. Anyways, that's your most basic, cheapest mode of transport, but you also have to be extremely safe on them because people will pickpocket you on purpose. Like, people just ride them just to be beside you, distract you, start talking to you about randomness, and then just steal your shit. So that's something to definitely consider if it's worth saving the few shillings that you save on that particular trip. Next mode of transport that I want to mention are bodas. They're not really that safe because they drive like crazy, but there is safe boda. It's not sponsored by them or anything like that, but I thought I would mention it because you do get a helmet and a hairnet and all of that when you're riding with them. Bodas are quick, they're convenient, you don't have to sit in jam. Even if you're in jam, it's not as crazy as being in a car. However, like I said, they're not really the safest, and I mean, if you want to ride in a layer of dust, it's okay if you're running errands, it's okay if you're running to work, so if you're wearing dark colors, like quick. But like, I've been on ones where I'm like decked out, like I'm dressed to the nines with my 5-inch heels, and they're like honking at me like, do you want to ride? I'm like, are you crazy? I'm gonna end up where I'm going. Like, anyway, point is, I used to ride them a lot actually, just to run errands and quickly do things, and then my parents were like, absolutely not, get off them. So I don't anymore. However, within town, generally speaking, I've never paid more than 5K for a ride. That's calling a safe boda. So if you actually are used to using bodas and you know the real prices to them, it's supposed to be cheaper than that from what I understand. But yeah, but they are convenient. The other day I used one because I parked far and I had to go downtown, and then parking downtown is a disaster. So yeah, they're very convenient, so I'll give them that for sure. The next mode of transport is my usual mode of transport, which is Ubering or taking Bolt. If you're from abroad, Bolt is kind of like Lyft. It's like a competitor to Uber, but slightly cheaper. Both of them, I just feel like I've just been so grateful that I'm driving right now. I needed a break. I was going to literally choke an Uber driver at this point. And I'm using them so much that get repetitive drivers, and I'm just like, I don't understand. I just don't get it. So why it's so frustrating Uber here? A, the cars are obviously not as good as abroad, but that is kind of a given. And then on top of that, they never have AC in their cars. They'll just lie to you that they don't have AC. They have AC. The minute you tell them, oh, I'll pay more for the AC, all of a sudden it starts blasting. So clearly it's an option. Another thing that irritates me too is that they expect you to give directions everywhere. There is GPS. I understand sometimes it doesn't work, but if I'm on MTN and you're on MTN, and my GPS is working, why am I directing you? And they'll always be like, no, it's just because sometimes people want a special route. Then ask, is there a preferred route that you want? And then on top of it all, once you get out of the Uber and like there's so much has happened, there's probably dust because they don't have AC, so it's all over your face, then the car is not always greatest inside, and then all of this annoyance and wahala, then they'll be like, rate me 5 stars. And I'm like, do you know how much it takes to have 5 stars abroad? Like, you need to give me gum, you need to give me some candies, you need to give me water. People have disco balls in their cars. They're not asking for directions, like you're not directing them like you're freaking Google Maps. Like literally, those people are the ones who get 5 stars. Some people out here have the audacity to ask me for 5 stars for doing simple job of dropping me from point A to point B. Bruh. Anyway, sometimes it's good combos, sometimes they're great people. I've actually met some dope Uber drivers. So with those situations, and sometimes they save their numbers, those are 5-star people. That's fine, that's cool. But the general gist of Uber, no. Also, another thing, if you don't know where you're going, they will take longer routes. They will play you. But I actually know where I live, I know my neighborhood, I know where I'm going, I know wherever it is I generally head to. So just keep that in mind when you get some weird amounts when it says and trip, they probably played you. The last thing to mention about Uber as well is that you have a cash option here, and I mean, it sounds cool, but it's actually a pain in the ass. And the reason I say this is because A, you want to be able to call your Uber, hop in and hop out and go about your business like we're used to abroad. You don't have cash options abroad. I think other countries in certain areas of the world do offer it. But what's annoying is they never have change, so that's another thing. That's why I'm like, you're asking for 5 stars for what? And if you are on card, because for like the first few years when they had Uber and I would come back in December, if you're on card and they hear your accent, the first thing they'll ask you is this a cash or card trip? You say card, they'll hang up and cancel. Like you'll never get an Uber, so you have to kind of work with cash. But apparently Bolt, they can't see if it's a cash or card trip, so you can just put your card out there, say it's cash, and then just hop out and keep moving, which is way more convenient. It wastes less of your time because they never can seem to find you. It takes 20 minutes. You have to actually, you guys, call your Uber 20 minutes before you have anywhere to go. And yes, you have to call them. You can't just like hail an Uber on your app and then hope that they'll find you. Like, I keep telling them, I could be in the sea, in the middle of a freaking lake in Canada. My Uber will find me here. Good luck. Good freaking luck. So that's something to consider with all of this Uberness, but it is convenient. And then costs of Uber. So I Uber daily because I have to go to work and then whatever weekend stuff and whatnot. So it got to a point where I think every month when I started calculating, it's about a little over 600K, which is about $200 or a little bit over $200 a month Ubering. I think it's a waste of money. I'm just tired. Like I've been driving for 2 weeks and I'm just like, what was life? This is the life. This is so great. So again, another thing to consider when you're Ubering everywhere. So the next option that you have is to get special hire. I would not recommend this at all, you guys. Woo! I remember when I used to stay in Buziga, I think maybe 2015. There were times I had to use a special hire if like couldn't take a driver or anything like that. And my goodness, like the prices, just anyway, I think Uber kind of probably washed them out. I don't know if there's special hires besides like hotels and stuff, but personally, it's kind of like taking a yellow taxi abroad. It's like, why wouldn't you just Uber? I can't give you prices on that because I have no idea, but there's an option that you can negotiate with people, like contact people who have drivers and ask them if they have friends who have a car available and are looking for work or driver friends. So that's what I did, and personally, I was just like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna work. I just felt like they still had to go do other things throughout the day. They're not like just for you all day. And then if that's the case, I got quoted like 1M, and I was like, when Uber is 600K, I'll just keep going with the headache of Uber. Like, why would I spend 1M? It was insane. So yeah, Personally, wouldn't really go down that route, but an actual monthly driver, if you have your own car, is a different option, because I know a lot of people, it's very stressful driving. In Uganda, I'm a psycho, so I can take it, but like generally, I can see like why, like my mom wouldn't drive here. She always says she wouldn't, but I understand now why. But you could also just get driven. I feel like it makes sense. So you could always get a driver for the month. That's up to you guys to figure out and negotiate prices and figuring that part out. But yeah, contact people who have drivers and see. But personally, I kind of like to drive myself. As for now, maybe when I have kids and stuff, it might change. But right now, I like to be on my own time and do things at my will and stuff. So that leads us into the last method of transportation, which is to drive. So I'll link the video that I did before of buying a car in Kampala and all the information that you needed. So I'll leave that up here. But generally speaking, it seems like I haven't had the car for a whole month, but so far from my understanding, I've spent a little under 200K for gas, but that's me driving everywhere. Like I've gone to Lubo a couple times, and like I'm not staying in town. Like when I'm driving around, I like to drive to Entebbe, like I like to go and see things. I'm like an explorer, I like adventures, like what can I say? So that's been like, yeah, about half a month or a little bit over, no, yeah, about half a month. So a little bit over 200K. So multiply that by 2, and that should be just under Uber prices to drive around, not having that headache, not having to waste half an hour to get even picked up, and just so much stuff. So there is that. But yeah, I think that's pretty detailed with all the methods of transportation. What do you guys find is your most favorite when you're here in Kampala, and what do you feel like is most feasible for you? Personally, my dad's gonna be back, he's gonna demand his car, I have to go back to Uber, so by force it'll happen. But for sure, for me, it's the driving. I wanna do things on my own time. But anyway, if you have any comments, leave them below. Let me know your favorite method of transportation, or if you want more information on any other ones that I may not have mentioned. But I think that's pretty much everything. I don't think anyone uses any other methods that I can think of. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please do remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification button and like this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!